Could L catch Diavolo, the one who's called a natural genius? Is his pure unrivaled level of intelligence enough to put the Italian mafioso behind bars? Is the man whose deductive reasoning and verbal intelligence are so great as to stop a third world war really the right person for the job? I'll tell you right this moment, I don't know. But we're going to look into it anyways, and you're going to enjoy it, because as the old saying goes, it's all about the journey and not the destination, right? And our destiny is Italy. The year is 2001. Sicilian mafia boss Bernardo Provenzano is arrested in Sicily after 38 years on the run. A general election is held and is won by Silvio Berlusconi 4 months following the death of the last queen of Italy. Life is good, business is booming, not only for the honest citizens, but the Italian mafia. However, they stood at a crossroads, grappling with internal strife and external pressures that would reshape its notorious legacy. At the time, the main criminal organizations were the Sicilian Mafia, Cosa Nostra, the Camorra in Naples, and of course, Passione. They faced heightened scrutiny from law enforcement and increasing competition for control over lucrative criminal enterprises, but the most prominent one is known as Passione, a sprawling syndicate operating primarily in Naples. It embodies the essence of organized crime in its various forms. This shadowy institution is depicted as engaging in a wide array of criminal activities, including drug trafficking, arms smuggling, and assassination. Led by the mysterious and ruthless Diavolo, Passione operates with an iron fist, maintaining a veil of secrecy that shrouds its inner workings. Diavolo, the enigmatic boss of Passione, is a character marked by an insatiable desire for anonymity. His real identity is one of the best-kept secrets within the organization, and this mirrors the clandestine nature of infamous figures who often go to great lengths to conceal their true identities and elude law enforcement. But enough with the preamble, let's establish the rules before we start. L is conducting an investigation into Passione with the aim of apprehending the boss for his criminal activities. L will achieve victory by identifying the boss. He has the ability to engage with any character in Part 5 and align with them if he deems necessary. It's crucial to bear in mind, in case it is not clear enough, all members of Passione are considered criminals, making it unlikely for L to join forces with them. Additionally, they have the authority to eliminate L if they perceive him as a threat. Diavolo remains unaware that L is pursuing him, but is aware of L's reputation as the world's greatest detective. At the NCA in the UK, L is at the forefront of transnational crime investigation, combating a range of offenses from drug trafficking and human smuggling to cybercrime and terrorism. With a focus on collaboration, he works closely with law enforcement agencies worldwide, pooling resources and intelligence to dismantle criminal networks. To give a realistic approximation of L's intelligence, we will have to consider things beyond the enemy law and look into the canonical novels, such as the LABB murder case and the L changed the world. When he was 8 years old, around the time when L entered the Wami's house, he proved to be a genius by exhibiting his analytical and intellectual skills by doing things ranging from completing puzzles to successfully investing in stocks. At an age of 8, he was smart enough to stop the outbreak of World War III at the time of the Winchester mad bombings by stopping them. By the time he was a young adult, when he was challenging B, Mello stated that his intellectual abilities were equivalent to 5 ordinary investigative bureaus and 7 intelligence agencies, and by the time he faced Kira, those numbers had leapt upwards several more notches. As a child, L's IQ was in the 250s to 300 range, and when he met Light, his IQ was astronomically higher. For those who are still debating who among Light and L is smarter, it's L any day. L was 95% sure that Light was Kira when he lied to him that his estimation for Light being Kira was just about 5%. L is much smarter than Light. L is much smarter than Light. By comparison, the only thing Light is better at than L is his social skills, which he used to his advantage. Without Light's social skills, he wouldn't have been able to do half of the stuff that he accomplished throughout the series. It was this that allowed him to surpass L in the end. And finally, Light could have won in the end if Mikami didn't idiotically kill Takada, after Light had given very clear instructions not to make any moves on his own. L knew Light was Kira from the beginning, but he lacked proof, and for me at least, memories L lost the moment Light had his memory erased. It was a very well thought plan, perfection all the way through, and when he regained his memory and the scene where they talk under the ring about churches and bells being too loud just made it clear to me that L knew about the plan and realized he would die in the coming hours. The mark at the end represented triumph from Light's side, and L saw that, but by then it was all over for him. Continuing the story this time around, but now the challenge is even bigger because this time around his efforts are turned to Diavolo's empire in Naples on the grounds that there are supernatural modus operandi and eccentric tactics using strange powers set them apart from the rest. After establishing a base of operations in the south of Italy, L realizes this case isn't going to be easy because gangsters in Passione hate attracting attention and would make them easy targets for assassination. The gang is based in Naples, but there are also members operating in Rome and Venice. Already knowledgeable of the hierarchy of power within the Italian mafia groups, L's only option is to rely on his pattern recognition skills to ascertain certain peculiarities about Passione. Specifically, directly beneath the boss is his most trusted right-hand man, the consigliere or advisor. Below the consigliere is the most obvious target for L, the members of his special unity, which is an elite subdivision within Passione that operates under the direct orders of the chief and consigliere, tasked with locating and killing traitors. They are the ones leaving bodies behind, so it's a matter of time to monitor random killings and determine whether they are perpetrated by Passione or not. But logically, it's too dangerous to have undercover agents spying on this branch of the gang without the advanced technology of today, so L is forced to move on and look into the lower ranks of the organization, the one composed of the caporegimes, or the lieutenants, the officers tasked with carrying out the gang's business without problems. Usually being given a territory, every capo is dedicated to specific types of jobs, and is also given one or several teams of gang members who obey them. Unmask the boss as covert feds is still risky, as he got multiple capos killed, but L knows better to rather involve his men in commercial transactions of the gang. This way, L would figure out caporegimes prefer to dress like normal civilians to blend in with the crowd. Some have ordinary civilian jobs during the day, such as being a barber, a taxi driver, or a toy store owner. In reality, they are rich and very ostentatious. He'd know a person can become a capo by gathering enough support and making the organization several billion lire. The next step to getting closer to the boss would be to establish a connection between each capo and pick up on the nuances of the boss's management of underlings, finding failed attempts to uncover the boss's identity through examples such as sorbet and gelato would be of crucial importance to not repeating the same mistake. Luckily, this type of info is low-hanging fruit for all the mafia staff, including the undercover agents. By digging up these two's history, L would be able to link them with the hitman team whose members betrayed Passione after being threatened by Diavolo for trying to reveal his identity. Hereby, L wouldn't have the need for his agents to act as members of the gang, as he would make the reminiscent members of La Squadra as the intermediates between him and the final target, the boss. Through close monitoring of Risotto and the others, L would eventually find himself investigating Sardinia to discover Diavolo's past directly. Risotto, who eventually encountered Vinegar Doppio, the boss's alter ego, acts as the consigliere to Diavolo, the second soul in that body. Let's just be real here. Diavolo, with all the connections he has, would put his elite unit to track L, but could they? L works pretty similar to Diavolo, almost no one knows who he is, and he doesn't show up in person. The only exception was the Kita case. If Diavolo knows that L is the world's greatest detective, and that L is in Italy, the first thing he's gonna do is put him under heavy surveillance, and the second he finds out that L is investigating him, he's gonna send his special unity to deal with him. The end result is, regardless if L knows about stands or not, he is screwed. Do you seriously think that La Squadra, with all the resources they have and powers, really did much better than L trying to find the boss without being detected? Honestly, I don't think so. So Diavolo could just as easily find out that L is the one hunting him, and as soon as that happens,